Creating events in History in Motion. Creating and editing events is the way to build scenarios in History in Motion. It's very easy. There are some options on how to create events, so we'll break it down into several videos. The first 3 videos will cover creating point events, which happen in one location. We'll also discuss creating events that are timeless, which we call locations. Much of what we cover in these videos will be common to all event types. The first video discusses locating an event and giving it a name. The second video describes how to add a description with text, images, and links. And the third video describes how to specify start and end times of events. History in Motion does extensive error checking on the input fields, so in the next video we'll discuss what kinds of events can occur, errors can occur, and how to recover from them. The next 2 videos will discuss how to create path events and area events, which can represent things like journeys, army encampments, and spreading fires or epidemics. We'll cover how to animate paths and areas as well. Finally, we'll wrap up the series with a video on general tips and hints for deciding how best to represent historical events using History in Motion's features. So let's get started. There are 2 ways to create a point event. One is to click on New and Point Event. We'll come back to that dialog in a minute. The other is to open the toolbar and then choose the icon to create a point event. The toolbar can be dragged around, can be closed. The scenario we're building is when Ulysses S. Grant traveled from his home in Georgetown, Ohio to enroll in West Point. The specific event I'm going to create is his brief stay in Ripley, Ohio, before taking a steamboat up the Ohio River. So I will click on the Create Point Event. Let's close the toolbar. And the dialog tells me to drag and zoom the map to view the event location. So in this case, Ripley is right down here, a little west of Maysville. So let's center that. Let's zoom in on that a little bit here. So there's Maysville. So here's the location. So I simply click on it and I get a Google Maps place mark. It brings up the so-called event accordion widget, because called an accordion because these sections will open and close like an accordion. Since I'm creating an event, the delete button is disabled. The cancel button will erase all the changes I make in this editing session. So since I haven't created the event, if I cancel at this point, no event will be created. The save button causes my inputs to be error checked, and if there are no errors, History in Motion creates the event. You should not click the save button until you have entered all the information you can for this event. Of course, you can edit it later, but if any necessary information is missing, such as the end date and time, History in Motion will give you an error message and not create the event. So let's give the event a title. We'll call it Wait for Steamboat in Ripley. The event's latitude and longitude are taken from the place mark. If I want to change the place mark's location, I can drag it rather than editing those fields. So watch what happens. I'm going to drag the place mark and I'm going to let it down, and when I let go of it, the latitude and longitude will change right there. So let me drag it back to approximately where I had it. Changes back. If I try and edit these fields directly and put some text or some other numbers in there, History in Motion will simply ignore it. You can leave the place mark, or you can choose one of History in Motion's icon set. We'll discuss importing and managing icons in another video. For this event, we'll simply leave the place mark. So if this icon file field is blank, we'll use the Google Maps place mark. This concludes setting the event's location and title. Please continue with the video on setting the event description.